This week we have been talking about the principle of movement, and here are the artists that we've been talking about. We were talking about Hokusai, George Bellows, Marcel Duchamp, Edward Degas, and how they use movement in their artwork to make us look at certain things in their art, which is really cool. So movement is the placement of art elements to make the viewer's eyes move. So it's your eyes moving towards a specific part. And we were talking about focal point when we were talking about emphasis. So movement is when we use art elements like lines, shapes, colors to make your eyes move towards that focal point. And that's how we describe it. We talk about things having movement. So we could have our eyes moving around the curve of our stairs, following lines. We could have our eyes following things like pointing fingers, okay, or even like the direction that eyes are moving in an image. Or we have the focal point as is the girl's face in this image, and we can see how our feet are pointing to our hands, and then we follow up our arms, and it leads us back up to our face. So it can be objects or actual lines or arrows in an image that make us move, our eyes move in a certain direction. So here is our exercise that we are going to be working on. And here's the definition of movement again here at the top. Make sure you put your name on it. And here are some images that have movement. And your goal is to figure out what art element is being used to create movement in these images. Okay, so you're going to be taking a look at each one of these, and is it using line to create movement? Is it lines that are directing your eyes to a specific point? Is it the fact that there's space in between things that are directing your eyes in a specific point? Is it the size of things? Is it shapes are making you look at a specific point? Is it the color? Okay, keep in mind we're looking in black and white here, so I'm not sure if color is an option. Okay, how about value, form? What is making your eyes move? Okay, so first identify what are you looking at, and then think about why are you looking there. Okay, and the why is that art element. Okay, so in the bottom half, you are going to be creating movement using line. And I have a couple of examples that I want to share with you. Make sure you don't copy my examples, otherwise it doesn't count. Okay. So creating movement using lines. Okay. So I'm using lines to point to that blue circle. So using line. Okay. In this one, I'm using shapes. So my shapes are getting progressively smaller or progressively bigger, depending on how you look at it. And I'm following those shapes to my little red square right here. Okay. Down here, I'm using color. And I'm also using line to kind of help, but I'm using this big red triangle pointing upwards. So also using shape to make me look at that little red circle. That's what I'm trying to make people look at. And then using value to create movement, okay? In this image, I want people to look at that white spot in the center, okay? And I'm using value, see how it's going from dark to light? Or you could go light to dark and have like a black spot, okay? But trying to make people look in a certain spot because the value's getting gradually lighter or gradually darker. So that's how we are going to be working on this exercise here. Let me know if you have questions.